I had another very influential person in my life. His name is Jim Gambasini outside of Washington, D.C. I had an interaction with him as a 24-year-old that changed my opinion on sales as well. And I just had some momentum. We just had some cash in the bank. We were just thinking about our first real estate deal. And he calls me into his office. He runs a big wealth management firm in Reston, Virginia, right outside of DC. Calls me into his office. Our wives are great friends. He's a good friend of mine. I'm staying at his place. Like I drank a bunch of beer with him the night before. So it wasn't a pure business environment, but he brings me, he says, show up at my office at 11 a.m. So me and my wife walk in, his secretary's there. He's got 50 employees on this floor. He pulls me into the main conference room and he shows up and he spends an hour with me doing a full breakdown of my business. Like, hey, you need key man and you need to consider key man insurance here. If I'm not the right person for that, but here's a good vendor for it. You need to think about doing a cost seg on this property over here. Have you thought about, your buy sell agreements if one of you guys gets injured or, incapable of working? And he just went business entity by entity of my entire life and gave me a ton of value. At the end of this hour, I have a notebook full of stuff. The whiteboard's full of stuff. He takes a picture of the whiteboard and he gives me, he's like, okay, my secretary is going to send you an email on these 5 concepts so you can learn a little bit more about it. I recommend this book. Thanks. Get out of here. And I'm like, hold on. You're going to send me an invoice? Like, the CEO of the company just stepped out of running his company for an hour to help me. Like, is this how you do it with every client? And he goes, yeah, every single client. I bring them in here and I do this. I'm like, do you send them an invoice? Like, how does this work? And he goes, Nick, you don't understand. He goes, half the people sign up with me on the spot to be either their consultant, their insurance person, their tax person, or their wealth manager. The other half of people call me in 6 months when they have another problem and they sign up with me then because they know that I can help them because I've added value to their life first. So every single interaction that you get into, add as much value to that person's life as you possibly can, and it builds trust, it manages expectations, and great things happen when people trust you. So it's not all about setting up a transactional environment where, hey, I'll do this for you, but you got to pay me first. And look, there's some businesses where that just doesn't work, but it taught me a very valuable lesson about adding a ton of value without expectation in return and the trust that builds.